In the post-match press conference after India's historic win at the MCG, the Boxing Day Test versus Australia, Ravi Shastri, the head coach of Team India, labelled this incredible win as one of the greatest wins of all time, a win that will go down in the annals of Indian cricket, and not just Indian cricket but world cricket itself, to bounce back post the horror in the first test at Adelaide and to execute such incredible performances is a comeback for the ages, is what he said, and I couldn't agree more, to be very honest with you. It was an absolutely magnificent performance, to say the least. A number of factors there that makes this such an incredible win, and a number of learnings that we've also acquired from all of this. So let's go back and look at the major learnings that we've acquired from India's historic win at the MCG in the second test versus Australia. At number 3 is, of course, that this team has steel. Look, to bounce back from 36 is something that we were all talking about in build-up to this test. Will we be able to shake it off? Will India be bogged down by it? We don't have Virat Kohli in the ranks. How is this batting unit going to perform and counter-attack this incredible bowling attack by Australia? And very quickly, India proved everybody wrong. Of course, they had the good fortune of losing the toss, but remember, Ajinkya Rahane wanted to go out and bat first, even after the horrors of the first test, which shows that this team believes in their resolve, that they believe that they can execute their plans on any given day, and they were ready to go out there and face the music straight away. But they lost the toss, got Australia out well, and then built a magnificent lead. But in that process of building the lead as well, remember, Ajinkya Rahane walked out when in India was 60 for 2 and had a reasonable amount of runs to score from there on as well. And from there, the way Ajinkya Rahane batted, and he had support, of course, briefly from Rishabh Pant, from Hanuma Vihari, and then, of course, Ravindra Jadeja doing what he does best, coming down the order and supporting the team with valuable runs there, building that incredible lead, of course, in the first innings. What else did India show in all this? They showed that their resolve is not just limited to their batting, that their incredible bowling prowess that they have is also very confident, to say the least. Losing Umesh Yadav in the second innings was a big blow, to say the least. But the way Mohammad Siraj stepped up, the way Jasprit Bumrah led this bowling attack, Ashwin with his incredible skill as well, Ravindra Jadeja chipping in, all of these players rallied around the team and ensured that the momentum was never lost, or even when it went astray for a bit, that India crawled their way back into the game and never let Australia take control of the game. There were a number of instances just like that just showed that this team has the steel to bounce back from the toughest of situations and that they can win in absolutely any conditions. At number 2, of course, is the confidence of the young lot. You look at this team and you saw 2 debutants in a game that was pretty much a must-win, to be very honest. In India, not just from a series point of view, but also from a strategic and a mindset point of view, you wanted India to come back and bounce back into this game and take the game by the scruff of the neck. And India, when the team sheet rolled out, saw 2 debutants coming into the game. You had Shubman Gill and Mohammad Siraj, 2 youngsters with incredible promise, making their debuts at the Boxing Day Test. Doesn't get more tense than that. But these 2 folks really stepped up to the occasion. Shubman Gill performed incredibly well in both the innings. He was clear with his intent, really knew what he needed to do out there. Got beaten a couple of times, but still went on the front foot, pushed the bowlers back, and executed his shot making really well. Big signs, of course, from Shubman Gill. Everyone's really called for him to be a part of this test unit, and he's now finally here. It'll be interesting to see how they accommodate Shubman Gill now once Rohit Sharma potentially comes back into the 11. You look at the other end of the 11 as well, and you see Mohammad Siraj there. Mohammad Siraj is one of the stories on this tour. Honestly, to lose his father at the beginning of the tour, to decide not to go back, to stick with the team, and then to be rewarded for his incredible persistence on and off the field, and to embrace it and to take it in the manner that he did was absolutely magnificent. Mohammad Siraj, of course, took on more responsibility in the second innings as well once Umesh Yadav got injured. And of course, day 4, he executed his plans to the best possible way. Remember, Australia was 6 down heading into day 4. And India still needed to get a couple of crucial wickets in the form of Cameron Green and of course Pat Cummins, who can both bat, and Siraj did just that. He turned up on the day, bold with a lot of elan, bold with a lot of promise, and his plans were executed in the best possible way. Both of these folks, Shubman Gill and Mohammad Siraj, executed their plans in tense situations, which just shows how resolute and how confident this young lot is, and these are big signs for India. At number one, of course, is the birth of multiple leaders. Look, I might call it the birth of multiple leaders. For all you know, these folks have already been taking up incredibly important leadership roles in the team. But it was very evident, right, in this test at the MCG, that a number of key personnel took up important leadership roles. You saw the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, the likes of Ravindra Jadeja, Ravichandran Ashwin as well. You saw the likes of Cheteshwar Pujara all rallying around Ajinkya Rahane, trying to work together with him, giving them their inputs and helping Rahane build the team in the manner that he'd like to do it. You saw it was very evident in the post-innings interview that Jasprit Bumrah gave. He said, we're not going to think about Umesh Yadav being injured. We realized that we are a bowler short, but we were not going to complain about it, and that we just go out there and execute our plans. And that just shows the leadership role that Jasprit Bumrah is taking in this team as well. For a young man, he's doing that incredibly well. And similarly with Ravindra Jadeja, who took up ownership when India were 5 down and he came into bat. The same with Ravichandran Ashwin, who bowled with such elan and led this bowling attack with Jasprit Bumrah. Just shows that a number of leaders are now taking the charge along with Ajinkya Rahane. And once Virat Kohli comes back in, it'll be interesting to see if this continues, or you go back to Virat Kohli being the leader of all things. But all in all, I think an absolutely fantastic performance by India. A number of players took incredible amounts of ownership in different departments, and the result was very evident. A special mention for Ajinkya Rahane. You look at Ajinkya Rahane and you see a simple exterior. You see someone with no fuss, no shosha of the likes. And what was very interesting is, of course, when he hit those winning runs, he just walked off, shook hands, and left for the pavilion to celebrate with his teammates. And that was that. I mean, you'd like to think that if it was Virat Kohli, there would be a whole lot of fist pumping, shouting, and celebration on the field. But with Ajinkya Rahane, it's completely different, isn't it? Nobody's wrong. Neither of them are right or wrong. They're just different personalities, and different personalities influence the game of cricket in their own different ways. But this was definitely a breath of fresh air for India to see a captain that's calm, composed, taking care of things, empowering others around him as well, and also leading from the front. So big positives for India. A lot of questions when Rohit Sharma comes back. Who do they drop, and how do they replace Umesh Yadav? But all of that is for a few days down the line. A happy new year in advance to Team India, to all the supporters of Team India, to the supporters of cricketnews.com as well. And once we're back in the new year, a number of questions will be answered.